The problem is easily stated. It's a bedrock principle of the accountability of our government that when we receive a DA or a planning proposal, is that it is made public, and we have mechanisms that facilitate that. DAs go on the DA tracker, planning proposals go on the planning portal, and so forth. This new creature that was created some time ago by the Department of Planning was designed with a noble intent, and I'll read from the relevant guidance document, to resolve planning issues up front, to enable a more streamlined LEP making process, or to provide early feedback to proponents and councils, in particular about the strategic and site-specific merits of a proposal. I'm in favour of all of that. What I'm becoming concerned about is the fact that there's a layer of secrecy in this process that I think is open to abuse and perhaps may already be being abused. We are way beyond the kind of have a casual coffee with our planning staff to evaluate what the site strategic merit of a proposal is. Again, I don't object to that. But in looking over the scoping proposals that have reached our inboxes of late, and I'm referring to about 6 scoping proposals over the last 4 months alone, these are very elaborate documents. I mean, I'll pick just one out, and of course I can't mention the content or purpose of these scoping proposals precisely because that information was given to us on a confidential basis and I had to ask specifically for it. But one of these scoping proposals ran to 65 pages, and like many of these, generate requests for input or comment from a variety of agencies. That information is requested, it comes back, it gets collated into a report, and it's all secret. And of those 6 scoping proposals that councillors received in only the last 4 months, all of them are profoundly of public interest, without divulging the details. One relates to the carve up of an extremely historic site into over 100 house lots. One relates to a subdivision of 899 lots. One of them extends what is currently open and free land at Vineyard to further extend Vineyard Stage 1 beyond scopes that were otherwise proposed.
If these are confidential items, is the council allowed to be saying the detail, even though he's skimming over proponents?
I'm being very specifically generic, Councillor.
Thank you.
My personal view is I'm satisfied that the line that Councillor Lyons-Buckett is sort of treating as a fine one, but I don't see any real issue with that at this point in time.
Thank you, General Manager. I appreciate that. The Deputy Mayor is entitled to her opinion. Another one relates to a subdivision of 3,000 lots. And another one is of similar scope in another suburb. Clearly, the public would want to know about these. And I fear that developers are cottoning on to the fact that they can use staff resources. I'm now aware that these applicants pay $5,000 to council, which clearly implies that council resources are being consumed to advance these proposals to a more advanced degree before they then have to formally lodge an application in the traditional way, which is subject to public disclosure. It bears remembering that these scoping proposals are amenable to GIPA applications. But what I would say is, how could a concerned member of the public, a near neighbour to one of these proposals, or a member of the press ask for that GIPA if they didn't know about it in advance? It's the classic chicken and egg type situation. And I want to frame this against the broader background of the fact that the state government have just closed public comment on a proposal to literally halve the time that members of the public have to comment on a variety of developments, SEP developments, state strategic type developments. They're proposing to cut the time that the public can comment from 28 days down to only 14 days. So I think it would be appropriate for us to place some governance around scoping proposals, The guidance document says that they're not a legislative requirement, which means that we are open to place some governance around this.
Thank you.
Mayor, firstly, I'm not proposing to end scoping proposals. They're a legitimate mechanism that does provide some efficiencies or expediencies in the planning process. Despite what the General Manager says about this being very heavily legislated or regulated, the guidance from the Planning Department says pre-lodgement is not a legislative requirement, which is what prompted me to say, well, maybe we can speak into this space and provide some accountability. The contention that if we do not provide a conducive and cosy and private way of allowing developers to advance their proposals is that we are effectively incentivising them. We're driving them from our arms and into the arms of the Housing Development Authority, I think doesn't sustain scrutiny. My own view is that a developer that goes to the Housing Development Authority is acting in bad faith. It's a legitimate or legal mechanism, but it clearly indicates that the developer wants an outcome and cares less for what the community's needs are or what the community wants. My point is that a scoping proposal is a currently private process that we can fix. If we drive them into the arms of the Housing Development Authority, it's still private, it's still secret in a way that acts against community interest, but that's something that we can't fix because it's up there at the state level. I was happy to accept Councillor Lyons-Buckett's proposed changes to this motion because if my motion wasn't going to get up, I was interested in ensuring that there was something that moves the needle on public accountability. There are developments swirling that we hear of or rumours of that the public are entitled to know about, including the ones that I hinted at darkly earlier. They at the moment will remain secret, and it will be some time hence that they will see the light of the day because they will be turned into a formal application and the public can get their dander up then and only then, whereas they could have known now if I'd prevailed in this chamber. So I commend this form of the motion to the chamber.
Thank you, Councillor. Those in favour, the motion's on your tablet. Councillor Lyons-Buckett, Councillor Wheeler, Councillor Lyons-Buckett, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Jerry. Those opposed?
You missed Councillor Douglas.
Councillor Creed, Councillor Michael, Councillor Regan, myself, and Councillor Kotlash.
Did you record Councillor Dogramarchi's vote?
Yes.
For?
He voted in
favour, correct.
Yeah. It's a casting vote, and I will support the way I voted against it.
Yeah.
The motion's lodged.
It is ridiculous.
The next item.